Auckland constitutes the largest urban entity in New Zealand and, at the same time, one of the country's principal economic and port centers. It is a rapidly developing metropolitan area extending between two harbours, defined by the intensity of urban movement, the strong presence of a coastal landscape, and the marked contrast between densely built fabric and remnants of historic green infrastructure. For that very reason, places where the momentum of the city abruptly gives way to vegetative continuity, spatial openness, and relative calm stand out with particular force. One such place is Albert Park, a site of clear historical and urban significance located in the very center of the city. Today, it is perceived as a representative urban park of considerable compositional and landscape value, yet its importance extends far beyond its present-day aesthetic role. The site preserves traces of earlier phases of land use, from pre-colonial occupation associated with Maori settlement, through its military period linked to the Albert Barracks complex, to its eventual transformation into a public park in the 1880s. The park in its current form is therefore the product of long-term spatial layering and cultural historical stratification. It is within this context that the ombú, Phytolacca dioica, is situated, a South American taxon planted in Albert Park approximately between 1877 and 1879 as part of a series of introductions associated with Sir George Grey. From a dendromorphological perspective, this is an exceptionally remarkable individual, one that departs entirely from the conventional notion of tree architecture. It is characterized by a massively expanded basal section, exposed root and stem buttresses, and a broadly developed crown with a pronounced horizontal spread. The resulting form reads less as a standard tree habit and more as a monumental living structure shaped by long-term development and a highly specific pattern of growth dynamics. Today, this individual is regarded as one of the most significant living historic landmarks of Albert Park. According to the Register of Notable Trees, it is approximately 148 years old. It is also known that, following major storm damage in 1971, the tree demonstrated a capacity for continued regeneration, reinforcement of residual structural elements, and long-term survival. It is precisely this ability to respond to severe disturbance that underscores its exceptional biological and biomechanical value. The tree, therefore, should not be understood merely as an old dendrological specimen, but as a highly resilient organism that, despite substantial damage, has retained both its structural integrity and its role in shaping the character of the site. Its extensive central cavity is not merely a striking structural feature, but also a valuable microhabitat with an important role in supporting biodiversity. It is precisely within cavities of this kind that the highly specific conditions develop for organisms associated with veteran trees, allowing the tree to remain a bearer of life even at a stage of advanced internal decay. The highly unusual morphology of the stem immediately captures the attention of visitors. Yet this form is far more than a visual curiosity. It is the result of compensatory growth, a long-term adaptive response to damage and the loss of load-bearing structures. Through this process, the tree redistributes mechanical load, reinforces its stability, and maintains functional continuity despite the presence of an extensive cavity and its considerable age. That is precisely why this ombú is so exceptional. It is not simply a historically significant tree, but also an outstanding example of structural adaptability, biological continuity, and the ecological value embodied by an old individual growing in an urban environment.